So give me a show of hands. How many people have done something really stupid that they're embarrassed about? Probably most of you. How many of you have ever made a YouTube video and showed it to the whole world? Well, probably just me. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So it's kind of a cold, dreary day here, and we got to make a repair. A repair I'm not real proud of. So if you've been watching the channel for a while, you know, over the winter I added a grapple, that grapple right there actually, to this truck so I can use it to haul logs along with hauling lumber. And I have 2 videos on that, the whole process of outfitting it, but if you remember, I put on that custom hose reel with these telescoping hoses, and that way I have hydraulics to the end of the boom for the grapple. Well, I've been using the truck a couple weeks here, and like every piece of equipment, especially one you kind of put together yourself, there were some bugs to work out. I had to do some modifications. I had to repack the swing cylinders on the boom. Once I started using it some more, I realized they were kind of leaking a little bit. So I finally had this thing dialed in, and I hauled a real nice load of logs last week, and I have a second load to haul. And when I was unloading this first load here at the mill, I blew a hydraulic hose. Well, I know what you're thinking. That's not the end of the world. Well, let me tell you, when the hydraulic hose you blew is this 30-foot telescoping twin line, it's a pretty sad day. And when it comes down to it, I've got nobody to blame but myself. So let me show you how I goofed up. I've been so busy here working, just between the tree farm and 100 things here, I've just been hauling stuff. I was hauling some of my own firewood, hauling lumber, hauling logs. I thought I had everything dialed in on this thing, and I just wasn't paying close enough attention. And what was going on, when this thing was all the way folded in, well, you can see here the damage, the carnage. There was a bracket that it was rubbing on, and I just never noticed it. And I never took the time to crawl up there and really inspect the hoses, because to me it looked like everything was working fine. Well, yeah, it wasn't. So now I get the fun job of redoing this. So the hoses just came in. I had a special order these from the hydraulic shop I bought the reel from, because they're a double bonded hose and they're custom. You can't just put a regular hose on that reel, it won't fit. So they told me that I could do this fully extended, which is going to save me a ton of time, I hope. So I can just pull the rest of the hose off that reel, clamp that. You'll see as I go. It's going to be a project, but this is the kind of dumb stuff. 1 step forward, 2 steps back. That's $1,000 worth of hoses right there. That's a pretty sad day. So I don't know. I'm not happy about it. I'm not happy that I have to do it. It's nobody's fault but my own. So I got my hose in here. This is probably going to be a lot of wrestling on my part. So I'm going to gather up some tools and we'll get to work and see if we can get this thing back up and running yet today. So this might be the hardest part of this entire process. I got to pull this out maybe another 2-3 feet. This is under extreme tension because this is a really stiff spring when it's fully extended like this. But the reason I'm doing this, if I can get this fully extended, take it apart, replace the hose, and then let it reel back up. In theory, this is going to be way easier for me. Otherwise, I have to take this entire thing off, rewind the hose, put it all back up. I'm going to try it this way. So I got a few tools to pick from here. Let's see. Try that. Oh. It's actually unbelievable how much power this spring has. If I can hold it. All right, I think I can live with that. Now I just got to really clamp this off good to make sure it don't take off on me. Yeah, I got my hood up because, of course, it's drizzling here a little bit. I got this clamped off pretty good now. My fittings are in there. What I was told was that this should come off, this plate should come off, and then I'll be able to get in there at those fittings. Then it's just as easy as I'm bolting 4 hoses, bolting on 4 hoses, doing the same thing at the other end, letting it roll up. Stuff never works that easy, but we're gonna hope it does. Well, I'll put a positive spin on this. The one good thing about breaking your equipment when you gotta repair it yourself, you really get to figure out how your stuff works. So I never took this apart before, but this is what this reel looks like. This manifold in here, that spins around and around, and it just distributes the oil across those 4 hoses. So the cover's off. Now I could take this piece off. I'd have to back these out, and it wouldn't be the most horrible thing, but I honestly think I can get them all from right here because they all 4 are coming off. So I'll just start on the outside and start putting them back in from the inside. It should be okay. I only really have to replace one, but I bought a whole brand new set because the other one is scuffed up also. I'm going to save that as emergency backup. I figure if I'm doing all the work to replace one, I might as well replace both, as much as I want to puke at the price. So let me get some wrenches and start getting hydraulic oil all over myself. So my inner 2 hoses are my bottom circuit, and my outer 2 hoses are my top circuit. And I'm telling you guys that for one very important reason. In about 45 seconds, when I start daydreaming and lose my train of thought, I'm going to need to play this back to remind myself. And I'm basically saving myself a lot of headache there. So you guys just mentally note that for me. So that was honestly not so bad. That was about a 10-minute job. I thought it was going to be much worse than that. But the hoses went on smooth. I did have to go up to the shop and grab some woodworking clamps to kind of sandwich that back together so I get the bolts back on. She's back together with brand new hose. Now, one of the other things that I've been living with that I goofed up, one of the first loads of firewood I hauled, I banged into this, and I had this bottom roller off because this ended up being just a little bit too tight for this hose, and I've been running it like this. But now that I'm taking the time to do this, I have another one of these because I actually bought 2 when I built this, and I, like an idiot, destroyed the box and couldn't return it. So I'm just gonna pop this off. I'm gonna drill out the holes on the new one to make this a little bit wider, and then I'm gonna just replace it right away. I wouldn't absolutely have to, but I'm gonna. While I'm doing it, might as well make it right. Beautiful. Got some play in there now. We just about got this whooped. I got my hoses extended. I just got to pop off the old junk, put on the new ones. You guys remember which one goes to which? I am going to look back at the footage and double check myself before I make an oopsie. Does anybody need any slightly used double bonded hydraulic hose? It's previously two 30-foot lengths. It would make two nice 27-foot lengths. I'll give you a real good deal on it. Oh, so obviously I got that cleaned up and I got the new ones on. Figured you guys didn't really need to see me turning wrenches on hydraulic lines any longer. So we're all buttoned up here. It actually looks the best it's ever looked. So those brackets that caused me the trouble, they're gone. My winch lead there, fair lead, better than it's ever been. So, you know, it's been a learning experience. So let's get this thing fired up. Let's function check it. Let's get the grapple back on. That's better. You can see what was happening right there. That bracket was hitting this hose. That's now gone. That's a pretty tight kink that has to make when it's all the way in, but we should be in real good shape. Water and oil make everything so nice to work with. Yeah. Well, I never would have thought that the biggest headache on this entire project would be these quick connects to hook up the grapple. I had my last truck set up the exact same way. I never had a problem. Bought these things from a hydraulic supply store. They certainly weren't cheap, and they just don't work. They're just junk. I fight with them every single time. I had to take this one completely off. I'm gonna put it in the vise here and try to unseize it. It's always these little tiny things that just drive you absolutely nuts on a project like this. Well, you guys know me. I don't get too worked up too often. There's not a whole lot that bothers me. I had to put the camera down for a while. Those darn connectors just drove me insane. They're brand new, been used a handful of times, and they're just complete junk. I had to put them in the vise and hammer them to get them to move. I'm gonna have to do something about that at some point, but for right now, I have them together. Hopefully they don't blow apart. I can't stand. I don't mind when I make a mistake, and this whole project, that's my doing. I get it. It's just part of the business. I can't stand when you spend good money on stuff that should work and it just doesn't work. That drives me nuts. So let's see if we got this thing back together and if it's ready to haul logs. take a minute to fill those hoses with fluid. There we go. All right. Well, nothing's leaking, so I'm gonna call that a win. So it's just another day in the struggle of a small sawmill. You get your good days and bad days. Hey, we're back up and running. It hurt my wallet a lot. It hurt my pride a little, but at the end of the day, I keep working. It's ready to haul some logs. I just got to drop my log stakes back in. That ain't happening today because it's way too muddy to get in where I need to get at. So this whole video might have been a tease for the next video, honestly, because wait till you guys see what's on my next load of logs coming in here. I've got a white oak that is probably going to be the biggest white oak I've ever sawn, and I have something in mind to do something a little special with it that I've never done before. So you guys are going to have to subscribe, stick around. That'll be coming out hopefully next video, if not soon. So that's about all I got. I am cold, wet, greasy, muddy. I'm ready to go home and warm up. So I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.